Hello all, we are here for one more lesson of this 2016 video lesson of VariCAD, and in this lesson we are going to talk about how to draw 2D objects, different types of objects. So for that we are going to see the functions inside this objects menu and inside it the draw sub-option. So first one, lines. So in lines we have the first option is a line where we can insert a point through all these methods that we've seen in one of the previous lessons. So click one point, click another point, and that's it. Again, you can use all these methods. So inside the lines we have also the possibility to work with a multi-line. And the multi-line is a definition we can make to draw 2 lines or 4 lines with these parameters, a fillet radius on the places where you change direction, and with the distance from the inners and outer lines to the center. Then we have a couple of definitions: cap the ends, fillet edges, draw center line, wherever it is, choose the color and type of center line. So, and again, because in fact we are drawing lines with the characteristic that there are a couple of them parallel, but basically we can draw this kind of entity. Okay. We have also possibility to draw a tangent line. This is a sub-feature of the lines, but for example, we have 2 arcs or circles, and very easily I can go here, tangent line, click the object near the place where the tangent should be placed, here, and that's it. Or here, and done. I think it's quite easy and very fast to use. You have also the axis function, and the axis function, it's quite nice because you can use it choosing a circle, and if it is this option you click it and you make very easy the center lines on a circle. You must be aware that to make these center lines, the system uses the type of line defined here. So you need to change to axis, and then if you go again to the same place, axis by circle, okay, then you have this center line type. We have also the possibility to insert a center line, an axis, in this kind of entity, because this can be a side projection of a cylinder, and for that we can go here to this single axis, or if we see it on the same place, axis and then axis by 2 points. So one point, another point, and okay, an axis is placed here. Next function, it is the rectangle, and the rectangle basically is you click one point and then you can make a definition again, going through all of these options, the upper right corner, and you make a rectangle. Okay. Not any other kind of polygon, a rectangle only, or a square if it has the 4 sides equal length. Next one is the polygon, and the polygon allow me to make a regular polygon. So number of sides, leading circle radius, and we can have this leading circle inside or outside, and the polygon orientation defined by cursor, edge, or vertex. Let us try this one and leaving this at edge. So center here, and you see this kind of orientation. If I go again there, I will put escape and make a new definition, and now vertex. Okay, click the center around here, and you see the orientation is different. So here is edge, here is vertex. If I go there again, I'm just making the enter to recall the command. Now let us put defined by cursor. So center, and vertex location, it will be anywhere. I can, because it's a definition of a point, again I can use all these options. So here, and you see the orientation is to the place I've picked with my cursor. Now I have a function called graphic, and the graphic can make a graphic, as the name says, making the reading of a txt file with coordinates in x and y. Okay, I will use the function, and I will import a file that I have previously done called points. Open, and I have a couple of points inside, so the points make some kind of definition. Let me try to show you. The file has this kind of format, just two numbers separated by a blank space, and the first coordinate is the x and the second is the y. So quite easy, no too much complex to do it. Next function inside the lines is the shaft, and the shaft is quite useful to or to create a shaft here on the 2D, or to prepare it to make a 3D rotation solid. So we have these parameters, this rounding radius and the chamfer beginning or ending, so I think it's quite clear. And we can use this possibility half profile to rotate, and this is quite important also, that the incremental x is measured from the first entry or previous entry. So basically I can use again these location points. I will do it more or less like this and like this and finish it, and you see now I could rotate it and make a 3D solid, but you see starting chamfer, ending chamfer, then we have this very small radius when in these places that you change the direction, and if you needed to produce the part, you have a very small radius in these areas also. So these are the options for the lines, but we need to see more options here. And the other options are arcs and circles. And for the arcs and circles, you have a lot of possibilities. Basically, most of them are quite similar, but starting with the first one, it is circle center radius. So center point, and then you give one radius and do the enter. Second possibility is circle center point. So center point, and then it is dynamic. You can use this to define the radius, or just graphically to pick a point and say it here. Another command is circle by 3 points. So 1, 2 and 3 points, quite easy. Another one, next one is circle by 2 points, where the 2 points make a definition of the diameter of the arc. So smaller or greater arc radius, so 1 point, and another one is like this. Okay, so quite easy also to work with. Now we have these possibilities, tangent to two objects or to 3 objects. In these 3 objects you don't need to give the radius. Here you need to give it. So Let us try, for example, this tangent to 3 objects. For example, this one, and this one. So if it fits one circle inside. Next command. Here it is the same, and the same that these first ones. 3 points also, it's similar by 2 points, and this is also give 1 point and tangent to an object. Here similar to these 2 objects, instead of being a circle, now is arc, tangent, and give a radius. And this function here, group of holes, it's a special function where we can give a certain number of circles. In this case they call it holes, for example 20, and you can spread them around a circle or a line. So first a circle, so center point, and now you see, or if it was the case, through a line, center of first one, and okay, it is quite interesting, this function. So lines all seen, circles all seen also. Then we have the points, and the points are a special type of entity. As we have an arc, a circle, a line, we have also a point. So we can easily go and click one point. Again, this location bar is always the same, and you click one point, you see you have a little mark. We can draw also points on a line as a distance. So first point, second point of the line, and the distance is, for example, 5. Okay, so it will split along this distance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different spaces to equal distance between points. The same, but instead of this time the distance, you will give the number of points, and also points on arc, so center, start point, end point, and number. You can give, for example, 10, and we'll assign a point equal distance through this defined arc. So points, now we have arrows. Arrows is quite interesting also to define, for example, to point to something. So I need to point here, so I have an arrow defining something, and I can put a text here. Let us do a different one, arrows, for example pointing here. We can make a set of lines, okay, not only just one direction. I can put several, but these arrows have a definition that we can make in tools, and then we have arrow style settings, and we can choose the type of arrow and where we want the arrow, at start or at the end or at both ends, and the length. So we have this definition that is possible to make before calling the command. Finally, in these objects on 2D, we have also the curves, and inside the curves we have 2 possibilities, which are the ellipse and the spline. Regarding first the spline is a very special kind of entity, because it will make something, for example, like this. Okay, I just click points, and this special entity will fit through the points I give. So I can have a minimum of 4 points and a maximum of 128 points. This is not very commonly used in mechanical engineering. So we have very specific situations, for example, to work in 2D, where we can use this kind of entity. And also for the 3D, these shapes are complex and in general mechanics are not very useful. So keep this notion only that we can make this special curve just clicking points, and it will fit something around those points. For last, we have another special type of entity which is called the ellipse, and the ellipse can be done by the easiest way as a definition of the minor and the major axis. And basically we can give a center point of the ellipse, then you define the direction of major axis. We can select a point to define the length of the major axis, and now to define the length of the minor axis, and the ellipse is done. Okay, but before the execution it is finished, we need to give the start angle, which we can do and say enter, not enter, sorry, start angle and end angle. Okay, almost a full ellipse, but we can give it also as a numeric value to close it. We have other possibilities, for example, to make this ellipse, and the possibilities are, for example, to define the axis numerically, and we can say the big axis, the major one, has the 20, and the minor one 50, and the minor one 20, and again center, direction, and that's it. So 0, okay, and finished. Okay, so now this is complete because I give start angle 0 and angle 360 degrees. We have also to finish one last possibility, which is ellipse, but this time by a projected circle, that basically it is to grab a circle that you have in your drawing and to change it to ellipse. So for example, this circle here, direction of major axis, okay, and point to define the minor length, the length of the minor axis, so here, and you see that respected the circle center and the radius of the circle, but it rotated to build an ellipse. Okay, so basically these are the 2D entities, the basic 2D entities that it is important for the regular work in VariCAD. There are other types of entities that we are going to see also in our next lessons, that you can see, for example, text, it is a special entity, the etching and the dimensions. We will leave them for other lessons to avoid to have a much bigger video lesson in this particular one.